So we're looking at SQL, and we're looking at making queries, creating queries. And we're using joins, so we're looking at joins. And we're looking at inner join, left join, right join, full join, or full outer join. And to do all that, we've created a database in PostgreSQL. And I'm just kind of going through this because a lot of people benefit from these videos online, and I just want to give them as many resources as possible to help them. Because not everybody in the world is as fortunate as all of y'all sitting in them seats out there in the classroom getting to attend college or university in America. Like people literally from all over the world, from war-torn regions, watch these videos. I one time had a text or a message communication exchange with somebody who was like, "Man, I'm loving your stuff, but I only get to spend a couple hours of it a day because that's the only time that we could run the generator." And I'm like, "Oh wow, you have to use a generator for electricity?" "Yeah, our city's been getting bombed relentlessly, and there's no other working electricity." It's like, wow. And this person's in a city with no electricity because the city's being bombed, and yet they're still trying to learn coding so that they could forward their position in life. Amazing. So not everybody's as fortunate as y'all, but these videos go out to everybody in the world and help people. So the document that we're using, there's the URL for it. So you can see that URL and then enter that, and it'll take you to this document. And we have this database that we've created. So I'm just going to review these commands, and you could type them in, and you could get, or just copy paste them. You could get this database up and running with all the tables and data in it. And so if I look at my database, if I list out my databases, \L, I can see all my databases, and I could change into my database \C. And the database that I created is cooking. And so I'm going to go into cooking. And then these commands here, right, list, created it, list it, change into it. And I created the table recipe classes. And so I have my field name, I have my data type, and I have my constraints, primary key, and I have my field name, data type, constraints. And I created the table recipes and field name, data type, constraints, field name, data type, constraints. And then here's a new constraint, references, recipe classes, so it's referencing that table, and it's referencing this field in that table. Right? So it's referencing that field in the table. And one of the things that is interesting is here I used some uppercase, but down here I just referenced it as lowercase. Some programming languages, case makes a difference. So for instance, if I was using the Go programming language, and I have a variable a : equals James, and then a : equals Bond. Those are two different variables. Case matters, right? Like these are completely different characters. That could be X and Y. Case matters. But so this is kind of a, here, if you see uppercase, lowercase, case doesn't matter here in Postgres for whatever reason. Everything turns into lowercase. So when I enter it even as uppercase, it becomes lowercase. Interesting. And I'm just doubting that as I say it. So I'm going to...
If it doesn't matter, then why do we capitalize some of it?
I think that's just when you're writing it out for readability. And that's the tradition as I understand it in SQL. I've always seen it like that in SQL. So if I look at my tables, I'm just going to create a sample table to check that case thing. Because programming is all about experimentation, adventure and experimentation. And if you have an idea of, oh, how does it work, you test it and you see if does that work, and that's how you get to know a language. It's actually how we get to know everything. We lose that a little bit as we get older. We get told don't test things, and just follow instructions and do what I tell you. right? Our parents don't like us testing them, right? But the testing is actually how we learn. So I want you to learn that and remember that. So I'm going to test it. So I'm going to create a table, create table, test, okay? And I'm going to insert a field type. It's going to be test ID, int, primary, key, not, null. And then that'll be it. Wacky, right? Totally fine. And now if I ask for the details of all my tables, I got test. And if I ask for the details of test ID, right? Look at how I entered it. And look at how it's recorded. Okay? And now I'm going to drop table test. And then take a look at my tables, and that one's gone. So how many people are coding SQL an hour a day? Nobody. So if you want to get good at, you've heard me say this, if you want to get good at shooting hoops, you got to shoot hoops. You want to get good at SQL, you gotta do SQL every day, an hour. So I really encourage you, because there's great opportunity here. I really encourage you to apply yourself every day. And so this is going to be the end of this video here, and then we'll pick up in the next video because I like keeping these short. But I'm just going to search for Fresno SQL jobs. And cybercoders, Fresno, California via Glassdoor, senior SQL developer, SQL DPA, Decision Minds, Fresno senior database developer, cybercoders. So let's just look at those and see what they are. And 65,000, 70, oh, that's for others. Database administrator, 85,000 database administrator.
Is that for bachelor's or is that
In computers, they don't care. In programming, they do not care about your degree for 80% of the jobs. 80% of the jobs are, can you do it? And the only reason you need a degree for the other 20% is because to do it, it takes a lot of training. And by that point, you've got a degree, because the only place you could get that training is at a university. But for 80% of the jobs, writing code, it's like, can you do it? They will be happier with, employers will be happier with, and promote and pay more for people who could do something than people who have a degree. There's all kinds of people with degrees, and they're like, I don't know what to do or how to do it. So, based in Fresno, health technology company. What is the name of the company? Cybercoders?
Yeah, I saw that too. What is cybercoders?
I don't know. Jobs in Fresno, cybercoders. It seems kind of like some sort of a spammy website. I'm not actually getting the job. Anyhow, whatever. I can't figure it out right now. But let's look for Silicon Valley. Let's do San Jose SQL developer job. Yeah, you could find jobs, but it pays money. So that's the main takeaway. All right, next video.